Wow, hello everyone and welcome to this explainer. Listen, we are breaking down a truly historic, just unforgettable night of football today. We're talking about Portugal's absolute 5-0 rout of Uzbekistan at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. Imagine being one of the 68,777 fans screaming your lungs out for this one. This wasn't just your standard group stage match, no way. This was literally a moment etched into the very fabric of the sport. We're talking a massive hero's redemption and the shattering of records that most people honestly thought were physically impossible. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the context surrounding this match is absolutely wild. Think about this. Just yesterday, Lionel Messi broke the all-time World Cup scoring record by netting his 18th goal. Fast forward exactly one day later, and Cristiano Ronaldo steps onto the pitch to create his own staggering piece of history by scoring in a 6th different World Cup tournament. I mean, we are witnessing the absolute peak of football's greatest rivalry happening in the exact same week at the exact same tournament. It's a phenomenal privilege for us as fans to watch these two titans just constantly pushing each other to unimaginable heights.
So, moving on to Section 1, Pressure and the Drought.
Before we talk about all the fireworks, we really have to understand the immense pressure that was cooking inside the Portuguese camp. They were coming off of a super frustrating 1-1 draw with DR Congo, and the tension was thick. And then there's this number, 10. That is a really heavy number. Coming into this match, Ronaldo was enduring a 10-game major tournament goal drought. This wasn't just a brief little slump. This barren run had spanned over 5 long years. And get this, if you remove penalty kicks from the equation, that drought stretched out to 13 games. For a player whose entire identity is basically built on scoring goals, you can imagine what an agonizing weight that was to carry around. Naturally, the noise outside the camp was totally deafening. Critics were literally out there calling for his retirement. And to make matters worse, at this very tournament, all the other global superstars had already arrived at the party and totally delivered. Mbappe, Haaland, Kane, Salah, they had all scored multiple goals already. Ronaldo was basically the last major star left to make his mark. But amidst all this massive swirling doubt, Portugal's coach, Roberto Martinez, defiantly backed his captain. He completely trusted that Ronaldo still had some magic left in his boots.
Which brings us right to Section 2, History, the 6th World Cup.
When the whistle blew against Uzbekistan, man, you could feel the tension. There was actually a missed last-ditch attempt in the 3rd minute that had the critics absolutely ready to pounce. But, and this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about, look at the sheer longevity we are dealing with here. 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, and now 2026. 2 full decades of competing and scoring on the world's absolute biggest stage. It's a totally unprecedented journey that literally culminated in this exact match in this exact tournament. Because right in the 6th minute, history was made. João Cancelo makes this brilliant, strong burst down the right flank, right? He sends a cross into the box and there's Ronaldo. With the agility of a guy easily 10 years younger, Ronaldo swivels right on the 6-yard box, meets the ball perfectly, and smashes a right-footed strike right past goalkeeper Nemitov. The stadium absolutely erupted. Ronaldo takes off to the corner, pulls out his trademark Sue celebration, and lets out this massive throaty roar. The drought was officially over. At 41 years old, he had just become the first player in the entire history of the sport to score in 6 different World Cups.
All right, moving into Section 3, Tactics and the 5-0 rout.
So the floodgates quickly opened against this Uzbekistan team. Keep in mind, they were making their tournament debut here, managed by the 2006 World Cup winner Fabio Cannavaro. Well, in the 17th minute, we saw this unbelievable piece of tactical deception from Portugal. They won a free kick in a really dangerous area. Naturally, the entire stadium and definitely the entire Uzbekistan defense fully expected Ronaldo to take it. He's standing right over the ball, playing the ultimate decoy. But surprise, Nuno Mendes steps up instead. While literally all eyes were glued to Ronaldo, Mendes quietly just curls the ball perfectly into the corner past Nemitov. It was an absolute masterclass in misdirection. Just like that, 2-0 to Portugal. Now, Uzbekistan did actually try to fight back, and there was a moment of absolute heartbreak for their traveling fans. Aziz Ganiev steps up and unleashes this absolute screamer that actually finds the back of the net, but VAR intervened. Yep, the goal was ruled out for a foul on João Cancelo in the build-up. That lifeline was just totally snatched away, and Portugal's momentum just kept surging forward like a freight train. And from there on out, it was just a rapid-fire rout. Let's step through the rest of this absolute destruction. Step 1. In the 39th minute, Bruno Fernandes plays this brilliant pass to get behind the backline, finds his former Manchester United teammate Ronaldo, who bags his second goal of the night. Step 2. Fast forward to the 60th minute, a low ball into the box takes a series of just wild deflections, ricocheting right off Kusanov and Natmatov for a really brutal own goal. And finally, step 3. In the 87th minute, Rafael Leão completely finishes the demolition job by lashing a cleared ball straight into the roof of the net. A total 5-0 masterclass.
Let's look at Section 4, breaking down the records. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that while the on-pitch action was super thrilling, the milestones achieved here are just staggering on paper. This is the data that's going to be printed in the history books forever. First off, as we covered, he is officially the very first player ever to score in 6 different World Cups. Second, at 41 years and 138 days old, he became the second oldest goal scorer in all of World Cup history. He's sitting just behind the legendary Roger Milla, who scored at 42 years and 39 days back in 1994. Third, that brace marked his 10th total World Cup goal, which actually allowed him to pass the great Eusebio for the most World Cup goals by a Portuguese player. And finally, it pushed his jaw-dropping international tally to 145 career goals. Just phenomenal. Unbelievable numbers.
And finally, Section 5, what this means next. Okay, so we've seen the history, we've broken down the tactics, but you're probably wondering, how does this impact the broader tournament landscape? Well, unfortunately for Uzbekistan, 2 losses in their first World Cup means they are officially eliminated, though I'm sure they will forever remember this historic debut. But look at the top of Group K. We have an epic decider all set up. Luis Diaz's Colombia is sitting in first place with 6 points, and Ronaldo's Portugal is right behind them in second place with 4 points. Both of these teams have already qualified, but they are going to clash in Miami on June 27th to decide exactly who takes the crown of Group K. Trust me, it is going to be an absolute must-watch showdown.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, really provocative thought to ponder. We have basically witnessed the 2 greatest players of our entire generation completely defying logic and doing it in the exact same week. So I pass the question over to you. Which is the more impossible achievement? Lionel Messi accumulating 18 total World Cup goals, or Cristiano Ronaldo maintaining the longevity and elite fitness required to score in 6 different World Cup tournaments? It's literally a debate for the ages. Thank you so much for joining me as we explored this incredible chapter of football history. Keep learning, keep watching, and I will see you in the next explainer.